All right. But what's the name of this podcast again? Hello and welcome to Nerds and Words. I'll be your host today, Tim Allen 1337. We have an extremely special guest today. Happy New Year, everybody. But first, before we get to the special guest, joined as always by Moreland TV.
Hello.
And BDO's #1 Twitch streamer, Potion Shop TV.
I'm just a regular dude.
And our special guest today is Potion Shop's Ego. Welcome, Potion Shop's Ego, to the podcast. How are you?
Now I understand. Oh, okay. Yeah, excuse me. Me, myself, and I. There's actually more of us. So it's a pleasure to be here.
We took a little time off because we have no idea how to have an intelligent conversation without Moreland, and he took a little time off of streaming. So we're back with episode 30. Got a lot to talk about, especially with Nova, a new season coming out, whole bunch of shit to go through. So settle in, get your farming and grinding going on, and let's start off with, as we always do, with our weeks. Potion Shop, how you been, man? How was the new year? How was the holidays?
I have just been going ham the entire time with streaming. I feel like I'm on a good schedule now. I'm happy my PC's working. So I didn't even have a holiday. I literally streamed Christmas Day and the day before and after New Year's. My normal day off was Sunday, so I took that and spent it with my family. They were very happy that I skipped Christmas, and so we talked about that. But I mean, as far as I'm personally going, I'm doing great, and I think my family's doing well as well.
That's good.
So you just fully skipped Christmas?
I fully skipped it. Like, I streamed the entire thing and didn't.
That's a gamer move, dude.
I literally, I think I had a 12-hour stream. I didn't change my schedule or anything. Like, woke up at the exact same time, streamed at the exact same time, quit the exact same time. Pushing
Did you
hard.
get any presents?
Let's see. Oh yeah, my parents decided to give me a muffler for Christmas. They got tired of hearing my car go down the street. You can hear it like a mile away because the whole thing's broken underneath. So they got tired of hearing that, and so they said, "Well, you got to get that fixed this year. We're all gonna recover it. That's your Christmas present." So I guess I don't have a noisy car. I guess Taco Bell people will be happy about that.
Don't steal my joke. Do you have a 4-cylinder?
I think it's a V8. Yeah, it's a V8.
Oh shit, really? Man. So you're just like rumbling down the street like a gangster?
Oh man, I mean, I'm not lying when you hear me a mile away. Like that is 100% accurate. Like when I pull out and I get going, it sounds like I'm going at like I smash my pedal to the floor. Hey, you're but yeah, I get up on the neighborhood and people are like, "Hello? Can I help you?"
What year is it roughly?
It's like late 90s.
Okay, so you're like just cruising around in a Crown Vic with no fucking...
It's ancient, man. It's ancient.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, congratulations on your muffler.
I know. It's actually pretty good. I'll be able to hear myself think when I drive down the road.
Oh, God, yeah. Maybe next time don't skip Christmas, though. I don't know if that's...
I mean, if there's drops, right?
I guess. Moreland, how was your holidays, man?
Pretty good. I got a lot of new presents. My parents bought me this goat.
Yeah, I got one too.
Yeah, you got one too?
Yeah.
That's cool. What else? What other talking items did I get? I got a Bob Ross. I don't know if... Can you actually hear him? Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
That sounds a little sexually aggressive. I'm not even going to lie. Can you play that one more time?
I just got a bunch of toys that make sound.
Can you play that Bob Ross thing one more time?
Yeah, it'll be a different line this time. Here you go. I literally can't understand a word that he says.
What the fuck?
It's beat the devil out of it. That's why he says when he's cleaning his brush off, he beats the devil out of it.
If you say so.
That's a weird gift.
Oh, here, I got one more. You'll like this one. This one reminds me of you, Tim. I have more. This isn't all they got me. So now you guys get a glimpse into my family life a little bit.
Why does that remind you of me?
It just sounds like your laugh.
It's not that obnoxious, is it?
I didn't use that word.
Okay. Well, great. Did you play any video games?
It pretty much sums up my holiday. I played a lot of Raid Shadow Legends on my phone.
Sick.
Oh, I shot guns for the first time.
Really? What'd you shoot?
Yeah.
You know?
A bunch. I shot an AR-15. I shot some kind of shotgun, and I shot some kind of 9mm.
Is there a video of you shooting a shotgun?
I would like to see that.
I did okay. I didn't even fall down or anything.
Yeah, but I still want to see it.
I was pretty good with that AR, dude. I was only like 3 inches away from hitting my target in 100 yards.
100 yards?
Ah.
That's pretty good for an AR.
First time I shot a 12 gauge, that thing came around and busted me in the head. It was just such a powerful kick on that thing. I think it was a 24 before, but
This was a really light shotgun. It was like lighter than, I don't know. It was super light. It didn't kick that hard.
Oh, was it like a 410 or something? Like a smaller gauge?
I don't know.
I do a lot of shooting when I go up to my parents have a place in Michigan, and I've got I really love 30-06s, and I think we've got about 100-yard range in the backyard, and so there's something relaxing about like long range shooting, you know, controlling your breathing and then focusing. So I really enjoy shooting a 30-06 at about 300 feet. I've gotten it down to about a roughly about a quarter grouping. I'm pretty happy with that, but shooting's fun, man.
Yeah, the handgun surprised me the most. The rifle and the shotgun felt about how I thought it would, but I didn't realize. I don't know. I guess I just played too many video games.
Yeah,
I didn't realize how much control was going to be needed to fire off multiple rounds of a handgun.
Yeah, and then how accurate, like the fall off of accuracy from distance, like shooting a handgun past like 5 or 7 yards is pretty much impossible to do it accurately. Like if you're trying to shoot somebody and they're like 20 feet away, they're just like, don't do it.
yeah,
You'll hit someone else.
I bought a Sig Sauer pistol to like practice shooting accurately.
A what?
A Sig Sauer, I think is what it's called.
Sig Sauer?
Maybe that's how you say it. But yeah, it's Mosquito was the brand for it. And so I used that and practiced that as a pistol for a while.
My parents also got a new puppy, so I spent the holidays playing with the new puppy, shooting guns, and listening to Screaming Goat toys.
That's honestly,
what more can you ask for?
that
nice.
sounds like a good Christmas, honestly.
Yep.
Mine was pretty good. I got my mountain bike, so I've been mountain biking. It's been a while since I've done mountain biking, so that's cool. I've got like a whole bunch of new stuff lately. Like my lease was up on my car, so I got a new car, you know, and then I got a new phone because that was up too, and got a new mountain bike, and you know, I've been playing with a lot of my son's toys too because he's a little over 4 now. So like remote controlled cars and stuff like that starting to come into the picture. So had a lot of fun with that, but normally go up to Michigan for the holidays and just stayed local this year. And it was pretty nice. Just got some family time in, and, you know, it was me, the ex, and my son for Christmas, and then, you know, saw parents and stuff too. So it's nice having a little family time, getting along, all that kind of stuff, trying to find a cool little normal. So I don't know. I feel good. Only streamed 6 times in December. I popped a life skill book and stuff like that. I am now up to 51 fails on my TEP Black Star.
That
I'm sorry,
is
81. 81 fails. 81 fails.
that
Yeah, I
is
was gonna
so
say
many.
51's way too low.
Yeah, and it took me 1,200 crons, so 12 attempts to get it back to try, and so now it is at try, and it took 100 stack to do that. So I'm in the land of pain and suffering.
What kind of stacks he sitting on?
I have a 207, a 210, and a 207. I'm just bouncing it between
So
the two
just
207s.
just to recap for people who aren't fully updated on the Tim Blackstar saga, you had a Tet Blackstar which you YOLO'd to pin back in like what fucking July or something when I bought mine.
Yeah.
And then after trying to get the pin bareback, you failed, I don't know, like 50 times and finally got it back to Tet.
That was
It
on
was-
the podcast,
no.
wasn't it? That actually
I-
happened on the podcast.
Yeah. So both times I've tapped it was on the podcast. I failed 67 times, 65 times, something like that without getting the Tet. And then I eventually just said, fuck it, and grinded out the silver and rebought it. And so I tapped it again on our last podcast because I really wanted to make it a pen cast, and it didn't go. And so now I've failed another 20 something times.
After months of getting dunked by that thing, you barebacked it again.
Yeah, I did.
Why don't you just cron it? You spent way more cronning or just buying it or whatever you did at this point than you would have just cronning the thing to pin.
You want to know the answer to that?
Yeah.
I was short 200 crons, so I figured I'd just roll it.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. So I haven't really been grinding. I've got all these J scrolls and stuff that I have to fucking get or use. So all my money goes to crons right now to cron it back to Tet is all I'm doing. I'm out of 60 stacks to go back to try and stuff like that. I'm just gonna cron one of those 207 stacks and get it back to Tet, and that's gonna be that, because I'll be fucked if I spend another 15 billion on a Tet Blackstar.
You haven't got all your season gear up yet, right? So they'll give you some stacks probably.
No, I used all that. I actually, to move on, I bought the Black Spirit Pass, and I did seasons to completion, and I did the main quest line.
Whoa.
I did over 1,000 quests on my Nova. I didn't grind anything at all. Well, I grinded like the quests where you have to grind, but I did everything for seasons. All my shit's Tet. I went for pen once, and it cost over 1,000 time-filled Blackstones to get back to Tet. So I'm like, that's enough. We'll use these stacks for something else. And I'm just rolling around with Tet gear until early graduation's announced, and I'm sure I have to push gear for that.
Did you enjoy questing on your Nova?
Yeah, so one of my new goals is 10,000 quests, and doing the Nova questing thing was the first part of it. And so like I paid attention to the areas that I was questing in to see like which were the best, just as far as like how many I could do per hour and stuff like that. And I talked to Biohack a little bit too about how he went through his thing. So I'm not going to like just make a jump to 30K and lose my soul, but I'm going to start with 10K, Guru 1 gathering and hunting, and just kind of take a different approach to this game for a little bit while I get my Tet Blackstar back.
Seasons have been involuntarily pushing me towards 10K, even though I didn't mean to push for it. They make you do so many goddamn quests every season that I'm at about 9K right now.
Oh, I thought you had 10K.
Nah, every time I try to push my Rule of P up, I do it for about 3 hours, and then I quit for 6 months.
I'm going to do it one character at a time. It took me like 2 or 3 days to get that amount of quests done. So I'll do it like one character at a time. I'm just going to delete like I had random classes. So like if you got a box, you could look at the marketplace, the 2017 thing where you could sell Zarkas and shit. So I'm going to delete all those and just make them guardians and just roll through with my normal gear questing.
Yeah, I got a lot of my quests.
How far are you going to go?
I'm going to start with 10K. How do you eat an elephant?
Like what regions are you going to quest in? Because most of those are AP capped. You don't actually need like your real gear.
Well, it's better than fumbling with fake gear, just in case. I'm going to do Balanos, Serendia, Calpheon. Obviously, there's a ton in Calpheon. I'm going to do Medaio, wasn't too bad. Probably Valencia Part 1. And then Kama And Drigan was okay. I need to go back and do. I haven't redone the new Odalita. I haven't redone Odalita, so I don't know how that replays. But everything was pretty
Odalita
good.
Seems like it might be decent.
Calpheon was definitely like the best. Medaya was shockingly good. But Valencia Part 1 is the only thing I'm really unsure about if I'm actually going to do. I might just skip Valencia Part 1, go straight to Kama, because Kama's great.
It gives you some fail stacks now, or still, right?
Yeah, it does, but like everything else about it's bad. Everything else about Valencia is bad. I think I'm just going to do the Rock Post quests and then move on. That really worked for me. I know Biohack skips Valencia completely, but I really like the Rock Post quests. They're pretty quick.
Did you know that at one point I had every pre-Valencia quest in the game completed on my warrior?
I got pretty close, man. I got pretty close on my Nova.
The one thing that bothered me, I was going to do 100% quest completion in Belnos, but it doesn't. Your dailies, you can't complete them.
Yep, that's what happened to me. I did probably 5,000 quests on my warrior before realizing that you can't actually 100% quest in this game.
Oh.
Yeah, because dailies count towards it, and you have to do them every day.
I was getting into some weird quest chains that I'd never seen before, and so I was kind of getting lost into that, and it was kind of fun. I was enjoying it. I'm like, I could do this again. I could do a character every week or two, maybe every other week or something. Just roll through some questing. It was pretty chill. I just watched Netflix, been rewatching Breaking Bad. Wasn't a big deal.
One of the things I think is really cool, I found out about Valencia Part 1 is, as you're doing Valencia Part 1, it unlocks side quests for the areas that you're doing the main quest line for. So as you go through, it's like you're gaining the trust of the people of Valencia, and then they will actually give you more quests for side quests that are good for like EXP and leveling up.
Medaya's the same
also
way.
hidden lore.
What was that?
There's also hidden lore.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I haven't gone through it all.
Was decent. That'd be interesting. I got teleported to some weird places I'd never been before. Medaya had some like that. I got in some weird chain in Medaya that I didn't know where I was going. I was on like waterfalls and beneath stuff and Hashira or whatever. It was cool. It was interesting. I think everybody should do a deep dive on the main, like the series main quest line once. You know, if you haven't done it for a while, some interesting side quests in places that you may have not been in the map, but you definitely got to be in the mood for it.
Did you follow the revamped Nova storyline at all?
I don't know. I noticed that when I was going through the quest line, I was getting run speed buffs a lot more often than I used to, and some of the quests were different. So I assume that's what that was.
Yeah, what
She
was
has
it?
like her own storyline in Calpheon now. where you
Oh,
go
is that what that was?
like the farm and talk to the guy and do the thing.
I forgot what it was. One quest line felt shorter. One of the regions, like Belnos, Serindia, Calpheon, but the end of Calpheon definitely had new stuff that made up for it. I think it was Belnos was like more streamlined or something.
I felt that Balanos was way more streamlined. Way more streamlined.
Yeah. I like it. It felt good.
Yeah, it was encouraging to go through the rest of the questing because like, oh, this feels better instead of like the arduousness of...
So do you guys think that from now on, instead of getting new classes, we're going to start to get new like characters that have their own stories and shit?
Sort of like Jordine as a playable character or something?
Well, I mean, it used to be, you know, Dark Knight, Warrior, Valkyrie, and now it's like Nova. Like it's a specific person that you're playing as who's got a story and shit, right?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like...
something that I don't realize, or is it like a category?
No, I mean, I definitely feel like that if we get more characters like that, I think it'll be interesting. Like, there's the goddess of Grana, and they could remove her, replace the priest lady with someone else, and then she could be the new Papu class.
Well, my theory is that they write all this lore for the Shadow Arena characters, but since no one's seeing it, they're like, oh, maybe we should put this in BDO too.
You know, I don't know. You never know about Pearlbiz.
They really did do some fucking lore for that game too.
Yeah, they're all characters: Jordine and Heroine and Orwin, Ahon Kiris.
You know, that might be something. What do you guys think they're going to do for the Papu class?
Shit the bed.
Wait, there's actually a Papu class?
Yeah, it's the next one.
They announced the next 3
Bro,
classes.
they're making a Papu before they make dwarves? Are you kidding me?
Dwarf is after that, apparently, if the order's to be believed.
Where did all this get announced?
That was Caltheon Ball. It didn't get mentioned in like the hot notes of it. So if you watch it, they talk about some nuanced stuff like that, like their long-term plan.
Oh, I'm not gonna watch it.
No, I'm like an hour into
They
it.
actually
It's been
said that there's gonna be a Papu class and a dwarf class.
yeah, but that's what
I mean,
their plan.
Is this gonna be like pottery and Valencia milking camels,
Well,
or is it actually?
I don't know how much we can trust it, because the Heidel Ball, they said they were going to do the snow region, and then they were going to do the Land of Demons above Valencia, and now they say they're going to do 2 locations in the snow region, which cannot be the entire snow area. There's no way only 2
I feel
grind
like
spots.
anything that's more than 3 months away in this game is straight up not confirmed.
Yeah.
You come straight from the developers.
Well, I know from Richter and Good Vibes Guy that the classes were always like super deep in the pipeline. Like when Good Vibes Guy worked there over a year ago, he knew about Guardian, like 3-6 months before it came out or whatever. So like the classes, and Richter told me that he was sat in on some meetings about underwear for Shy and stuff like that. So
Well, you think will this make the NA player base mad?
well, localization is part of the publisher, right? So
Yeah,
it's like, hey,
it's true.
can we have a tiny female and put no, maybe we shouldn't. Anyway, so I think the classes are pretty well solidified. They pick the animations they're going to steal from the different classes and drop some costumes. So I think
There's
the
not that
Papu
many
class is
animations
probably
they can
done.
steal for Papu though.
I will say that if they're doing a Papu, it'll be like a Shy 2.0, I would imagine. So less abilities, but more uniqueness, maybe.
As long as I can use my keyboard as a piano.
I've been saying I want a Papu that's like a waterbender from The Last Avatar. That's what I want. We're gonna go over there and just weaving water around everywhere.
So I've been biting my fucking tongue off listening to Potion Shop talk about Nova.
What have I said? There's been a lot.
Every time you say the word Awaken Valkyrie or Guardian, I want to fucking strangle you. And you've been comparing Nova to Guardian, obviously, quite a bit. But before we get into my emotions about what you've been saying on your stream, what do you guys think about the new class?
It's kind of like an Awakened Guardian.
I wasn't gonna say it.
But not as difficult.
Fuck you.
I think it is, for me personally, it's the least I've enjoyed a new class in this game ever. But I can't tell if that's because the design is fundamentally boring or if it's just the fact that they keep releasing these half classes and then we have to wait 2 weeks to play the whole thing.
I'm curious, how did you feel about Guardian when it came out?
I thought Guardian was fine. The Pre-Awakened Guardian, it was a little bit different than some of the other classes that had come out. It had a nice little flow in terms of like moving from pack to pack, and I don't know, it felt unique. The movement was there. This class is just so static and turrety. I don't know. I don't feel like it flows well at all.
I feel like the abilities themselves go well together, but there's no mobility, and that definitely leaves a hole for people who like, the mobile playstyle. Like, if you're a Musa fan, there's a 0 chance that you're going to enjoy playing Nova, I feel like.
I play Awakened Guardian, as you may know, and I hate the flow of this pre-awakening. To me, it seems like there's intent to have it weaved in, right? There's intent to have it weaved in to the succession, or not the succession, but the awakening. And so it's like just the building blocks for the class. So I'm having a tough time coming up with an actual opinion about the class because it's not out. This is just like a preview of it, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. To your point earlier, it's a really archaic way of doing this. It was fine back in the day when they were releasing everything 2 weeks at a time or whatever, or maybe early on in this game. But this game just hasn't matured like that. People want it all at once and to figure it out. The other side of things is I think marketing wise, it's been pretty decent because everybody is super fucking clamoring to figure out what this class is going to be like. There's a palpable buzz about Nova. But I don't know. It's pretty frustrating to me, you know, especially as a streamer. Everybody comes in and goes, "What do you think of Nova?" And I'm like, I don't know. The fucking class isn't out yet. We don't even know what the awakening weapon is.
This came up.
We're literally playing a trial class. But I mean, when Hashishin came out, I had a lot of fun playing Pre-Awaken Hash even before the Succession came out. And then when the Succession did drop, it wasn't a ton different. You know, there was some enhanced mobility and some extra mechanics on a few of the skills. But, you know, 80% of the stuff you needed to know for Succession, you could already do in the Pre-Awakening. And for Nova, I don't know, like, I just don't feel that way. I don't feel like I'm playing 80% of a class right now. I feel like I'm playing 30% of a class. And if the Succession is actually just a few more skills piled on top of this, I can't understand how or why anyone would play that. The Awakening looks sick, though.
Well, when I watched the trailer for the Succession and Awakening, the abilities were the exact same for the Succession. It was shift right click was one of them. Command Frozen Earth, which is the hotkey ability. Your shift Q, and I forget what the fourth one was that you could see in there. And they all add like the little dragon calc monster to your attacks, which is apparently the king of death or something like that is the lore side of it. I don't know. I find it interesting. I definitely feel like it's a different flavor of Guardian. I don't know how else to put it. It's there's a group of players out there who like a slower paced class, and not all of them enjoyed Guardian. And I feel like this caters to potentially the other people who like a slower class, but they didn't like Guardian, and this gives them another option to play.
Okay, Guardian's slow if you don't know how to play Guardian. Like this, yeah, some of the animations are slow and deliberate, but there is so much mobility. It's not a ninja. There's a ton of mobility. There's a ton of things you can do. There's iframes to close those gaps between the long animations that you decide to use. Right now, in the state of Nova, you stand there and you're a bigger turret than anything that's ever existed. And what I can't get my fucking mind around is Shift Q, Shift F, all these things are you stand there and you put your shield in the ground and dead ice people come out. And it's like 3 skills look exactly the same with just a little bit of a difference. And then your Shift RMB and LMB are a little bit different.
Yeah.
It was repetitive and uninspired to me. And when you have a class that makes so little sense with just the Pre-Awakening, it baffles me that we have to wait 2 weeks to figure out what this class is actually going to be. It makes no sense to me besides just having a bunch of streamers going, I can't wait to find out what this class actually is.
Yeah, we talked a bit about this when Hashin came out, that it feels like an old way of it being released, and it's up again now. And I definitely, last time I argued that I liked the delay because it allows me to get my skill points and level up and everything. But I feel like, you know, now that I've done this a few times in a row with, you know, Hashishin and now again with Nova, I definitely feel that same feeling I feel like you guys have, where it's like, I would just like to have, you know, some Succession and then maybe delay the Awakening extra long if you want to stretch out the content or something.
Well, yeah, if they want to do Succession day 1, Awakening after 2 weeks, fine, right?
Yeah.
Like we can all play Succession and we can build hype for Awakening, and you know that's kind of how it used to be. It's this weird like, oh, we're gonna release a trial version of the class that can't actually compete or be viable, and you're just gonna be useless for 2 weeks. That's the thing that I have a hard time buying into.
They used to not give us absolutes when classes came out, remember? They'd wait to even give us absolutes, and now absolutes come out. So they need to update that with Succession. I think that's a really good kind of medium spot, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
But like, you don't, with respect, you haven't done seasons ever, and you're just out there grinding trees. And so you grind trees a little bit better. But, you know, Moreland and I are on Season Zarsha playing this thing, and an Awakened class or Succession class walks up to you and it's like, you know, they're playing chess and you're playing checkers. And so even from like a new player standpoint, all this marketing goes out for Nova. You pick out the new class or you're coming back or whatever, and then you just put your shield in the ground like an asshole and die. You're not playing at the same level as literally everybody else on the server. And it just doesn't make sense. Should absolutely have access to at least Succession.
Yeah, I definitely
Yeah,
I can see that.
Warrior as Nova right now, like I literally might as well go AFK. There is no fight. At least on my Hashashin, I was getting kills before the Succession came out. I was doing okay. On Nova, it's like actually not possible.
Absolutely
The
fuck people
person
who
you're
pick.
fighting has to be a brainlet to die to you. They have to like go AFK in your block and die to your guards or something. Like there's no way to actually kill someone on purpose with this class.
Absolutely fuck people who pick Awakening Warrior for seasons though. Like fuck you.
Do you
Dude,
feel
have you guys noticed this season? Do you feel like there's more like tryhards and gillies running around on the Arsha channel just to like dunk on Novas that can't fight back?
Definitely.
I feel like this has been the sweatiest season for some reason. Like the PvP on this season has been way sweatier than last season.
now? The PvP is still limited just to the Arsha channel, correct?
Yeah,
I
Or,
don't-
or GVGs on regular servers.
I'm just curious if Nova feels worse in 1v1s just because he's a naturally worse 1v1 class, or just because the Succession's not out. Because I think there's a good chance when Succession comes out that she's still just trash at the 1v1s.
I don't know how Succession saves her in 1v1. I think she's just gonna only be a large scale class, maybe. I mean, is there any other class that has just like straight up no iframes? Like not a single one?
Her quantum protection is insane. The it can CC. It lowers DR by 15%. And then on top of that is a crap load of damage.
Musa has one on Dash, which is pretty worthless. I think
Sure.
that's the like worst iframe.
It's true. It's annoying too because they randomly will escape you, like when they should have died to damage.
I promise you, it's more annoying for them than it is us.
The iframe on dash.
Yeah, because they can't control it. Where like Maywa, you can do a sidestep, and that's the iframe.
Yeah, so it literally
Speaking
has
of
no
Musa,
purpose.
probably the only class that Nova can kill 1v1 right now. Shout out to Musa.
The what's it called? I think Nova's going to be like the go-to class because of her DR shred for group content this period. I feel like she's going to replace Shy straight up. I don't know where Shy's going to fit into group content for like PvE anymore, unless you can't get a
an
Nova.
insane statement.
Yeah,
There's
that's
just
bold.
no way this class replaces Shy. Like just the bubble ability alone. What?
Not
what are
in
we
Node
gonna do,
Wars.
get walls in front of castles instead.
No,
He's
not
talking about PvE.
yeah. This like killing monsters.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
Yeah, because
I
it's
think it's
every
interesting.
single one. Every single one attack. Every one of her minions does it.
That her pre-awakening kit doesn't really have any slows. You know, in a meta of slow stacking and stuff.
Lots of freezes though.
Lots of freezes, but freezes are weird, right? Because you take you take like 80% less damage or something when you're frozen. It's a long CC, but it's weird. You can't really like freeze somebody and DPS them down. You kind of use it like at the ends or to control people off to the side or something, like just straight up freezing somebody. Like finding a Witcher Wizard that'll just like cast freeze at you from a distance is weird.
Wait, but she has DR penetration, so that would go through the ice freeze? Question mark?
Because she penetrates 15 DR.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that really had freeze
Yeah,
before
definitely.
this was Witch Wizard, and Succession uses Frigid Fog as a main damage ability, but it's more of a finisher now than it used to be, kind of a SA rotation thing. So there hasn't been like a ton of use for freeze in this game. So we're gonna flesh it out with this class, it seems, and see.
Yeah.
You know, I think the Nova combos will be interesting, having so many freezes in her kit.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what meta will emerge, if it'll be more of a group focused or more like PvE. She's definitely going to carve out some spot in BDO that's very unique to Nova, that's for sure.
So, what'd you guys think of the trailer for the Awakening in Succession? The rapier.
Not what I expected.
I am surprised it has pink, like purple rainbow colors. I was really expecting like a dark theme or an ice theme to kind of match the main hand more, and they just completely dropped that. So I was a little surprised by that. I am very happy that it looks to be more mobile and that's a fencer. This seems like something more that I want to play. I'm not a big fan of slow classes.
It is a little bit like a DK casting weapon, though. I think we talked about that a little bit, or I've heard other people talk about it a little bit, where it's not really like it's like an ethereal weapon or something. It's not really like a physical, rapier that comes out. But the Tower Shield is such a big statement. I'm really surprised that when you're watching her just kind of dance around and fence, there's no huge Tower Shield attached to her back, or that they played off that in any kind of characteristic way or developmental. And it's just like, here's a magic rapier that turns into, they call it a sickle or a scythe, but it looks like a pickaxe.
Yeah, it does look like a pickaxe.
So the adaptive, I guess people are calling it an adaptive awakening. I don't really know how that's going to play out. I thought the video was interesting, but I felt that there wasn't the continuity between the pre-awakening. The pre-awakening just doesn't look to make sense to me.
Yeah,
It's going to be very interesting seeing how they chain together for sure. Like it might be one of those classes where you just never go into the pre-awakening once you've got your awakening.
What if it's completely different and you can't swap? Like you pick awakening and all of your skills is there.
Ooh.
Is that when we get the additional awakening skill? Because of that, there's a couple things kind of floating out there that they've been talking about. And then what if there is just no pre-awaken and it's just awaken only?
So they convert like half of the pre-awakening abilities over that they want you to use, and the other half is locked for succession?
Or it's just a 6-skill class in awakening. Or, in Shadow Arena, there was a class where I think it was ninja. After you did one skill, you could do another. Maybe the fact that it turns into a pickaxe is like the second part of so it's only awakening. You don't go to the Tower Shield thing, and you just go from pickaxe to rapier.
Well, for DK, they had 2 versions of DK's awakening weapon. So if you play it, you have sometimes it's like a long sword, and then sometimes it's like 2 short swords. And when you're holding it, it can be one or the other. Sometimes they're floating beside you, and sometimes you have one big one beside you. And it can.
Supposedly, she has a resource that you build up and spend. And my guess is that you use the rapier normally, and then whenever you're spending your resource, you get the scythe-looking thing that pops out instead, and you do like an empowered version of the skill, which kind of sounds like BSR or something. I'm not sure how they're going to distinguish that, but we'll see.
I'm curious if it's going to be like your mana, or if it's going to be like martial prowess, or like shards of darkness, or something like that.
Yeah, it'll be something like where you do damage and you build up 3 stacks, then you spend it on a skill or something like that. That's my guess.
I hopefully it's a unique piece of a unique mechanic. That I would like that, even if I don't like the class. If there's a unique mechanic that's going to come out with these classes every 3 to 4 months or whatever the fuck it's going to be, they at least need to put more effort into it than they have been. I think Hashishine was better than I initially gave it credit for. I needed to wait for that to flesh out. Most people, we all like to make quick decisions, not us 3, but the community likes to make quick decisions about classes. And so I've been trying to do a better job of just letting it flesh out, let the God gamers find the combos and, see what Korea does, see what MENA does, see what SEA does, see what EU doesn't do,
I think Hash was the best new class that they came out with in probably 2 years. The problem is that the large scale meta is so rigid right now that making interesting classes almost doesn't work. There's one thing that works. You have to make a big super armor AoE bot that has a teleport, or else you're kind of bad, right? So I feel like that's the issue right now. But I think they did a great job with Hashishine.
Yeah, the awakening on Hashishine is actually kind of pog.
Yeah, I think for the awakening, I don't like it because of the PvE, but I think the PvP side of it is insane.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, this, and I was watching, I think, King Berserk, and bro, the dude just made the class look like it was the funnest thing since the history of BDO. And I was like, wow, that is a whole nother way of looking at the Awakening. Because my side of it, I just wanted to play in the Awakening, do DPS, dash around a little bit, and it just felt awkward to me and for doing that. But the PvP side of it makes it look like it's something I want to play again. You know, I'm actually thinking about maybe, trying out some Oasis weapons on it and seeing what I can do on like
I was watching
Arsha.
Fake Uniform play it on RBF, and I was like, holy shit! Watching somebody actually play it is nuts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's really, really fun. Yeah, I don't know. I think the reason I didn't like it, that at least the Succession, was just because it didn't flow. I think the I don't know, the combos were really well made, but I didn't like the flow. Or maybe smoothness is a better word. The way that the abilities chain together, it has like you can combo them, but the animations look like garbage. Like they have like a stickiness to them, or I don't know how to say it. And I feel like Nova.
I thought it was one of the smoothest classes they made in a while. I thought they nailed it with Hashishine.
I guess I don't know how to explain it. It's like the pressing the buttons felt good, but watching it did not look smooth. I guess the best way I can say it. And I felt for Nova, it's almost the. I feel like the abilities have a very smooth appearance, but they're not near as fun.
I didn't like the aesthetics or the lore, right? The idea of like the fast desert runner and stuff and the sand tornadoes.
Why does he get to run faster?
That wasn't my thing. And then the desert is like just not relevant at all. And it felt a little out of touch. And I thought that was hard for me to kind of relate in having fun with that class, because everything that they promoted about it aesthetically was so far off the heels of Guardian being aesthetically and like all the great costumes and stuff, and kind of this different pace altogether. Also, I really didn't want another iframe class, so there was a lot of stuff that, like, just me personally, I was like, oh, I don't want this, I don't like that. That's relevant, so I'm playing the class, and I gotta wait 2 weeks for Succession and Awakening, and my iron just wasn't hot anymore, and I just moved on with my life.
I will say,
I think Succession Nova freezes water when she walks on it. So you know how Hosh can like sprint through the desert? What if she can sprint through the ocean? No?
I was at the park with my friend today. We're having a dad date, and we were talking about MMOs and League of Legends. I still have a problem with how many classes are coming out with this game. Like other MMOs, WoW's been out for 15 years, and there's been 3 editions. And everybody in the BDO community goes, but yeah, League of Legends has 200 or something like that. I'm like, well, that's a MOBA. I'm trying to think of MMOs, when they come out with new classes, it's a really disruptive thing, especially when there's balance to consider. Potion Shop, you said months ago, if the devs updated a class versus a class every single day of the week, you could only hit balance for every single matchup twice a year. And so they've really like quadrupled down in how many classes they're adding. And so, like you were talking about when you were playing Demon Souls, and that the balance just wasn't really there because it was a remake of an early game in the genre. Maybe that's where we're heading to, where balance really isn't there, time to kill is low, and it's all about kind of aesthetics and the weapons that they wield or whatever.
I gotta say,
hasn't it been that way for a while? Like, how much of the Guardian hype had to do with gameplay, and how much of it had to do with that first costume teaser that they released? Realistically, like, no one knew what the gameplay was, but when they released that teaser, everybody was they lost their minds. I'm gonna reroll. Before we saw any gameplay, people were like, I'm rerolling for sure.
Yeah, there was a lot of that. You're right. I was on the other side of that. I feel like the class that you play, I was so excited to be playing Witch. I always really wanted to play Witch, and I had the opportunity and the gear to do it. And then, I watched Joe play Guardian, and he was just like, it was so funny. When he was at my house one time streaming behind me, and you could see his right hand as he was playing, and he was RBFing, and his hand like wasn't moving at all. And somebody in chat went, wow, I didn't realize you could play Guardian completely one-handed, and he just smash everybody. And it, it was so fun seeing how little input you could put in and how big of an effect you could have, but then the nuance of when you got pressured. And so after watching somebody play the class for a couple months, I'm like, shit, they got their nerf and it looks fun, but I feel like you really got to let these classes flesh out to even understand if it fits your play style. I tried to force myself to play Hashishine, and I'm like, I just hate every moment of controlling this character.
What do you I mean, all right, so I feel like the developers right now want to focus on developing content that the players will reliably get hyped for and play. And the only thing that I think they can reliably do that with currently is classes. I agree that I don't think they should be releasing so many classes. I think it's a little too much. Like 2 a year is pretty solid for me. I think anything more than that, it's like a player exhaustion type of thing. What do you think? Obviously, like they could make grind spots better, or the dungeons might be a solution, or whatever. But what would you guys like to see, other than maybe a class for a new season that could get you hyped up to play the game?
BDO Classic.
Open world PvP objectives.
Ooh, what?
Literally anything, dude. I've been saying this for years. That would reinvigorate this game in so many ways if people had PvP objectives to work towards other than the shit show that is the Saturday Night Siege.
There's not even a Siege podcast. For the first time in like 5 years, there's not a Siege podcast anymore. That's how actually dead Siege is.
That's a sad thing here. I guess they did get the PA nerf to go through.
There's honestly a lot of low-hanging fruit when it comes to revitalizing the game, but it's one of those topics that kind of is exhausting to even talk about because they're never going to do any of it. But I mean, there's so many revamps they could do with life skills, dead life skills that need buffs. Open world PvP is super obvious. Ranked arenas is super obvious. Literally just take the arenas that have existed in BDO Mobile for a year and port those over to PC. Done. Like it's so simple. It's all right there. But instead, we're just going to get 3 new classes a year.
How do you feel like the best way to market like that type of thing to the new players? Because that's what they want to do. They want to get the new players in playing that stuff. How do you get those?
That's the problem, is that this game is perpetually on a 6-month schedule, right? Like they never plan for, if they just made a good game, then over time, this is what other MMOs have done. Like there's plenty of MMOs that started off dead as fuck, and then over time, like ESO or FF14 or whatever, like they just made the game better, and now these games are huge, right? And so if they just made the game good and allowed the reputation to grow organically from that, more streamers will get into it and they'll stick with it, and word will get around. But instead, it's like we're constantly on this cycle of we're going to hype up the next release, and then everyone's going to be stoked for 2 weeks, and then we're back to the same old shit. And now what? Better come out with a new class.
Yeah, I can definitely feel you on that. They talked about obviously the Node War revamp and the GVG between servers and the sheriff system, which is like a glorified bounty system, I guess. And I'm really curious to see what those do and if they bring back that passion to the game. Maybe what they can do for the next season is to introduce those PvP functions at the same time.
Well, what we've seen from the season so far is nothing. Right. Even season 3 is a literal copy pasta of season 2.
Yeah, and season 3 is a joke. Like, I'm really surprised that they didn't do literally anything with it.
I remember the last community manager that was at PA. I was talking to him, and he was like asking what we thought of seasons and was hoping that we could do something unique or interesting. But I just don't. I think they're just kind of turned it into an opportunity to call out a new class and run through the main storyline quest, and all those people that work super hard for 30k quests, or now there's an entire new region, there's a new class or a new slot that's going to come out every 3 months, so it's just going to massively diminish those people's accomplishments.
I cannot get motivated.
Hit a diminishing return, right? Like I can already, with season 3, I was already like on day one thinking, man, I'm tempted to just delete this season character and make a non-season Nova because first of all, I don't want to do the main quest again, and these rewards aren't that good. Like it's we're only on the third season and it's already so played out for everyone except for brand new players. So they've got to hit a diminishing return at some point.
Right.
Just from a financial standpoint, and have to stop and realize like, okay, we need to actually spice this up, or else, we can't just keep recycling the same concept.
Well, they did lower the price on the Black Spirit pass, and they did take the rewards down a little bit. Season 2's rewards wasn't very good, but at least there was a costume. I bought it because it was only 1,800 pearls, and I'm like, oh, I'll go through and like make some extra coin, and maybe get some maids and shit like that. But I did the whole season thing to completion, level 61, all the bosses, everything, because I'd never done it before. And I think if the pass was over 2,000 pearls, like just having that small little price cut actually made me purchase it. And then I did the Nova pack too. That gave you inventory slots, the costume, and all that shit. 7 or 14 days worth of buffs. It was like $100 worth of shit for $40. So I got a $60 package, and I had like the full season experience. And I thought I think this season was monetized better. But as far as like a veteran player or anybody who's not brand fucking new to go through and spend that money and to do that shit, unless you're like just fish on a hook kind of into Nova for no reason with no information whatsoever, I don't think there's a reason for it. So that they're already hitting that diminishing return super hard. Mm-hmm. And if season 4 is just a Papu class, I think they're going to really start feeling the failure of the idea of seasons.
Like, there's really no reason why the season pass needs to be tied to the seasons. They could just make a battle pass for existing players, like other MMOs, where you just, you go fucking kill mobs at Star's End or whatever bullshit objective they come up with.
Level up the new character.
The exact same thing, right? Like, this has been a proven system for mobile games and shit for a really long time. So like that doesn't even, right now seasons is like the chore that you go through so that you can access the battle pass, because it's a better value than like buying your maids normally, right? But you're not doing it for fun. You're not looking forward to the next season.
It's just a big carrot, and that's all you're doing it for. I'm with you, bro. This is what I did with my Nova. I got level 10. I tagged it with my Sork. I paid 1 billion silver. I have a Pin Kudum and a Tet Blackstar at literally level 10. I went to Bashim's, and in 1 hour I was 56. And then I went to Mirmok, and 1 hour, at hour 2 I was 58. And then I did 6 hours of questing. I could have done in 3, but I did it in 6. And so basically 8 hours in, I was 61. And then I basically spent 3 days and I was 62. So like literally, I mean, I don't know, like before Thursday, before the end of Thursday, I was 62 on it. And I just feel like that's such a better value than, getting all the Tuvala up, the questing and all the bullshit, just to have a class that you want to play and try out. And most of the time you're just waiting for the Awakening anyway.
Yeah, the only reason I'm participating in Season 3 at all is so that I can do gear capped PvP on the new class when Awakening drops. That's the only, like, the actual season itself has just been an utter chore.
I think that's actually really good.
How's your season gear coming? The amount of grinding I'd have to do to get to full Pen Tuvala just doesn't quite seem worth it for that experience for me, but like I've got 1,200 skill points.
I'll be full tet. I'm not going to push for pen. I only went full tet on the Hosh, and I did fine. It's kind of good to have the challenge of fighting people who are better geared anyways. Like, I don't necessarily need to be fully maxed for a temporary, PvP scenario anyways.
I guess that's fair.
I like that. I should do that. I should actually just take off gear when I fight people, and I'm like, well, I wasn't at full strength when I lost, so,
Bro, I say that either way, even if I do have all my gear on.
Or I could just play that Kuno, man. I two-shot you.
Ugh.
What else has been going on? Oh, the PA nerf. Yeah, so I want to talk to Morlin about this a little bit. I saw in I think your last going live tweet that you're going to start preparing or thinking about preparing to re-enter Siege / large scale PvP. I'd love to hear you expand upon that.
Well, I think I'm merking for Vertex tonight, so we'll see how that goes.
That was quick.
What do you mean?
Well, you didn't wait at all. Very first, got the patch in, boys. Mora was already back in Siege. It didn't take very long at all.
Why not? Fucking PA is gone. Might as well give it a shot.
Mm-hmm. I'm really curious to hear what you feel about it.
So
Yeah, so I need to double check, but I think I'm marking for them tonight, and then we'll see how that goes. I'm honestly
they're on Calph. You can't merc in for them. They're on Calpheon.
Oh, are they? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll mark for someone else then. I'll figure that out. But I'm honestly not super hyped for Saturday nights. I'm more looking forward to Node Wars. So I don't know if Vertex is quite going to be the answer, or if I should be looking other places. I don't know. Any Node War guilds recruiting? Come find me. But yeah, I definitely want to start getting back into like uncapped high-end PvP. So that I have a reason to push my gear, because I just completely lost my motivation to give a shit about this game after they nerfed T1s. Like, really took the wind out of my sails. So I need to find that again, or else I'm gonna go crazy.
Yeah, that's why I've been gambling. Going for Pen Ogre and raw tapping stuff, because it just doesn't feel like it's mattered for a while. And now that PA's been completely gutted, I find myself trying to make the safe route back to Tap Blackstar, and then I'm going to make sure all my armor C9, and just start making those small steps. Get some Pen Red Nose accessories, and just kind of carefully climb it up. But I don't have a home, and very few people want Tim Allen in their guild, so I just got to merc out when I get a chance. Plus, having my evenings back to myself has been pretty great. Like these Node Wars, the Node Wars scene is going to have to get real lit for me to want to Node War again, honestly.
I'm probably going to hold off on Node Warning until the new Node War system comes out, and when that comes out, I want to get into that, sink my teeth into it, feel it out.
See you in the snow region, homie.
Oh no! They said next 6 months they plan on focusing on it. If it doesn't come out in the next 6 months,
I said that 2 years ago. What are you talking about?
No, not the new. Not that was the.
The new revamp. Yeah.
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 I don't know. If when that comes out, that'll be, if that comes out, maybe it's more accurate to say. That's what I want to play. I want to play that. I want to see how that works. That seems exciting. It seems interesting. And they've been working on it since, I know, about a year now, because they talked to us about it during the Heidel Ball, which was
a disaster.
Yeah, a disaster and a long time ago.
Is this the Delete Medaya Castle revamp, or is this a different revamp?
This one is basically the regions are all going to have a day for wars. So all of Caltheon will be on war on one particular day. All of Serendia will be on war a different day. All of Medea will be on war a separate day. And so you can.
Oh, and you have to like take one node and then move to the next or something.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, the nuance of it is unknown, but.
I remember this.
Yeah, if that actually ends up coming out, I want to play it to see how it plays out, because it seems like a really, really fun idea. Along with that is they wanted to make it where siege guilds can hold multiple areas, and I think that's also fun.
Do you know how fucking terrible it's going to be pushing Medaya Castle with no PA?
They definitely probably need to open up that back hole a little bit.
Oh, man.
They make that little wharf and some stairs up to the top up there. You gotta do something back there.
Siege guilds are gonna mandate Pegasus for recruitment.
I think the new tier of Carrick should be able to fire cannons over Medaya Castle wall and hit the base.
Yo, have one massive cannon in the middle. This lobs one up. That'd be pretty neat.
Dealing with cannons is bad enough. When a boat gets involved, like so many people avoid nodes that have boats or placements that can be affected by boats, because it's the worst shit to deal with. Axing boats down
in this game.
They seem to think that that's like the answer, is like more interesting siege weapons and stuff. They keep talking about that, and I'm like,
more ogres.
Apparently Carricks can already shoot Medaya's first gate, so easy clap.
We need a Leighton from Shadow Arena, dude. We need that to be a siege summon.
I do feel like they need to rework how boats work. The player-owned boats, I feel like, should not affect Node Wars. It should only be guild boats, and there should be a guild boat for the purpose of shooting the castle, and then there should be land options to take out the boat, right? There should be like strategy and counter strategy type stuff, you know. And I think that could be interesting. But right now you have an infinite supply of Karax that can just bombard your front gate, and that doesn't seem like interesting to me. You know, there's no counter strategy.
Most of that is happening on purpose.
Yeah, I
think
definitely
they're kind of just making it up as they go.
Yeah, I think I definitely want to look into more node words when the new stuff comes out, though. And I'm interested to hear back what you guys think, because they initially said it was going to be 40% DR rate on protected area, and that protected area is going to have a 1 minute cooldown. And the launch nerf was 50% damage reduction rate is now PA instead of 999 DR. Do you guys think that's
they changed it? It's 50 instead of 40?
It's 50 instead of 40 now. I'm curious if how big of an impact that has. I don't think that's huge, but it's definitely I don't know.
It's kind of huge. If it works the way that it should work, then it's bigger than it sounds, because if you have people who are already at 30% damage reduction rate from the 401 DP bracket, and then you add 40 on top of that, you're getting 70% damage reduction. And the better way of looking at that is to say you're now taking 30% damage. So if you bump that 40 up to 50, instead of taking 30% damage, you're now taking 20% damage. So that's actually a massive increase to your mitigation. You're only taking 2/3 as much damage with a 50% PA that you would with a 40% PA.
This is why I'm curious about people testing it a little bit and hearing back from you. Is because the way the desert debuff works, since a percentage is a smoke multiplicative, so you can't actually stack it and get 100% desert resistance. I mean, it's off right now anyway, but the point is, like, if they made it where it's multiplicative, then the extra 30% is not near as effective as it would be otherwise.
Hold on.
Right?
Let me jump in here.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm watching this clip from Jose fighting against Barcode, and he Z-buffs and E-buffs and just starts casting. And Barcode's really well organized. They've got good shot calling and stuff. And he just gets like 15 kills by himself. Just like full 100% people with his lightning skills and bouncing around. Even with Earthquake, he knocks somebody out. Like, it's just... I said jokingly the PA nerf was going to be a buff to Succession Wizard, but it actually is.
Well, yeah, I think it is.
Meteor killed 5 people, like just 100%ed them. It's just a complete gear check. So I don't think the fact that PA isn't 9999 DR anymore, I was concerned. I was thinking the same thing before, we saw some clips of this happening. But man, you better have 400. It won't even matter. You're just going to die.
Yeah, my main thing is I hope this fixes is I hope it makes it where it makes more room for people to have other classes than Wizard and Witch in their guild. Maybe that's range classes, because the very next thing after that is just going to be long range meta, because long range doesn't have damage fall off or any other way to prevent it. So by nature, everybody will just go and change to another long range class like Archer. So I think this is definitely the first step in it, and it probably allows guilds to choose more variety of classes easier. But I do not think it solves the melee versus range debate. I think that is still going to have to be something else.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever can balance that in 100-man wars, though. That's kind of why I'm looking forward more to Node Wars than to Siege, because I feel like this game really excels in like 30-man, 40-man fights, and not so much in 100-man fights.
I kind of hope they just have like an area around your character where you do 100% damage, and the farther it is away from your character outside of that little circle, it just has damage fall off. I don't know, maybe like a passive ability that tells you what your damage fall off is for your class.
I don't think that makes sense for casters, for like lore. Like, it doesn't matter how far away you cast the lightning bolt. Still,
they just need to limit range CC. That's what I think makes it kind of bullshit, is when you have full duration KDs on classes like Archer. That just seems to me like kind of power creep we never needed in this game.
Yeah, long range CCs definitely is a problem. I guess I just want, this is not, I'm not saying this is exactly how it should be, but this is the idea that I have for the damage fall off. Let's say if you shoot, off render range as an Archer, it only does 20% of the damage instead of 100% of the damage, right? and you're encouraged to get close to your enemy because to do 100% damage, you need to be within a certain amount of range. So then this encourages the range characters to get close, which then also gives the melee people an opportunity to strike back if they can stand up out of a combo.
You should go into RBF and count how many times you get Voltaic Frigid Fog comboed from a Suck Whiz. Like, I understand what you're trying to say, and there is a problem with the range and the charge up lightning skill that, you know, hits outside of render distance or something close to that. But, you know, Witch Wizard really isn't range outside of like 3 skills, maybe. You know, the problem is the bombing and having 100 people bomb. And I think Moreland's point was pretty apt, where it's like, how do you really balance a game around 100 people? Maybe 30, but not 100.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's multiple problems right now, right? The damage is way too high, which emphasizes the overpoweredness of range attacks. And then on top of that, we have too many CCs, which then makes it really, really obvious, again, how powerful range is. So we just have a lot of things that are kind of like compounding on that meta. And I mean, maybe they want to address one at a time and just make steps in that direction. Like, PA is definitely the first step. Like, for Protected Area being nerfed, I feel like 100% is the first step in that chain of things that to make, you know, Node Wars more enjoyable. What do you think about the 200% nerf?
Good and needed.
Yeah.
What did they do to it exactly?
30-minute cooldown.
Yeah. Good.
So you can still have a couple Suck Zerkers doing it, but the incentive to run Suck Zerker, you know, to get all those insane feeds just isn't there anymore.
The better solution was balancing 200s, but they can't seem to figure out how to do that. So yeah, slap a cooldown on it.
Mm-hmm.
You can always just grab a Zerk, you know.
And I think that this does create an opportunity for guilds to be encouraged to get, you know, more Zerkers in there. So you could go and try to get, I don't know, maybe 30 Zerkers in there, and you can use 200% every minute. But they require coordination. But I don't know. I think there's at least it's something different than having a range class in there. What 200% were overpowered other than Zerker Succession? Were there any others? I don't know of any others that were overpowered.
Everyone always just fed their rage to Zerkers, so it's hard to say. I think I remember feeding a lot of rage to Tamers and Guardians, but I think that was probably because of their 100, right? Not their 200.
Yeah, they're 100, I think, on the Awakening, correct? I think that was correct.
Yeah, I don't know. I just we would have people who were batteries for BSR press Alt C, and I would just walk up to someone with the icon over their head and feed them my rage. I never knew why. I definitely noticed that fucking Zerker 200 though. That thing was just ridiculous.
Take the super armor off on it.
Very satisfying to grab an enemy Zerker out of that 200 though. So that was the one thing I liked about it.
Have the one, 600 DP person go in there. All right, he's in there. Get him. Just go in there and grab him.
I don't think 600 DP is enough to live through that thing, but you just have to be super fast. You had to see them wind it up and just grab them instantly.
I'm trying to think. There was something else related to it. I guess related.
No, it was basically. I'm sorry, I walked away for a second. It was basically Suck Zerk, right? If you fed a Guardian, they were probably using their 50% PSR Cleansing Flame as an initiation, but that was pretty much frowned upon. It was feed Zerk, and then the shot caller would scream at grab classes for not grabbing him as soon as possible, because it wasn't so much that like they'd kill you fast for sure, especially if they got like back attacks or whatever. But man, you still had like the problem of it's 100% wound damage. It's not just the damage that happened. It's that
you can't even heal it.
Every damage that they did was wound. So you do half the wound per percentage per. Like 100% does 50, 200% did 100. So I don't think there was really another. Most of the 200% were just like cosmetic or fun, or you clip it once when the new class comes out and you go, well, never gonna use that. But Zerker was the one that really had the problem. I think Meteor can be used or something, but like nobody's ever really done it because the cast time and shit is so overpowered most of the time, especially with Succession. You just absorb 100% and dive in like an asshole. Oh, Meteor got nerfed. Okay.
What about that Nova 200%? You think that's going places?
I haven't seen it. What is it?
It's in the trailer, right? It's that big, giant, frosty AoE she
Oh, bro, that
does.
thing is massive.
Looks the same as all her other skills, except it's like 5 times bigger.
Holy smokes, that's it? Man, they're going to be using that and just freeze the entire enemy team and then figure out some combo, I guess, since you have like 5 seconds to figure it out.
See, that's what a 200% should be. It should be some big fucking bomb that you can drop once every 30 minutes where you can turn the tide of the fight and, like, you know, everybody gets to do it once or something over the course of a siege, or not even once because there's not enough rage, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that seems way more interesting. Something instead of something that blows everybody up, it's just like a crazy CC. Oh, bro, I think I can't imagine like a wizard 200% being a teleport instead. You just teleport like you and like 20 people in with a 200%.
I think they should change Valkyrie's vacuum. They should buff it and make it their 200%.
Well, do you remember how impactful the sword vacuum used to be when the awakened 100% ball that went through walls and slurped people up? Whatever happened to that? Why did people just have too much super armor and movement now? Is that why it's not really used as
They
much
just
anymore?
removed all the gravity on it, so you just can't get, suck people
Oh,
in.
did they actually straight up kill it?
Yeah, so the gravity is what got removed on it. It's still technically there, but you got to walk right into the thing to get caught. It's impossible. You can be halfway in it and still walk out.
Yeah, I feel like shit like that could be really cool for a 200. A giant gravity well that slurps everybody in, or a giant Valkyrie vacuum.
Yeah, actually, that'd be really cool. The current Sorceress 200% is Karshan's Nightmare, like the little crow thing, but it's 360 all the way around you, but it does no damage. So even if you do it, it's like, well, I did 100 damage to you. You know?
The Warrior 200% just sort of looks like you're having a seizure or a mental breakdown.
My chat's having a little bit of a side discussion. What do you guys think the most overpowered skill is in the game? Like the best PvP
Voltaic
move?
Pulse.
Yeah, I was saying Voltaic.
If it's non-Black Spirit Rage, yeah, it has to be something on Wizard or Witch. I mean, I would probably still just stay Protected Area, honestly. It's just such a game changer.
No, not anymore. Cleansing Flame with core skills is kind of a contender for me, because the AP reduction and the fact that you can put float on it, and it is only 6 seconds. But I think it pales in comparison to Voltaic. I think Voltaic's always been number one ever since they put minus 15% evasion on that fucking skill. Maybe block jump and versions of block jump is like number 2, but
how does that apply? Does the first hit apply the evasion, so all the secondary hits of the same skill get the benefit?
Just like any other debuff on a skill.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually pretty insane, especially in an evasion meta. I feel like if it was a DR meta, then obviously people wouldn't really care as much.
I mean, Voltaic and Cataclysm were the most overpowered skills in the game pretty much from the first day they came out, even before they debuffed evasion or anything like that. Just having a huge AoE super armor that was also a CC on a class that could teleport, like, there you go. There's your large scale meta.
Yeah, I agree. All right, what else has been going on in this game?
This week we had some quick buffs and nerfs, along with the PA. Ranger Awakening got all of her weak abilities buffed. I don't think it really changes Ranger Awakening in the meta a whole lot for like PvE grinding. But if you're Ranger Awakening,
Awaken Ranger right now.
Oh, it's insane for 1v1s, but you have to be good at it. Yeah, I don't think it's bad though. I don't think it's bad. The 58 bombs got I would say buffed, but some of them got rebalanced. Like they removed Zerker's 30% slow on his new one, and then they buffed his other 58 bomb with more damage. So a few of the 58 bombs got reworked this week.
I think they need to take every slow in this game and cut it in half, if not more.
It should be a CC. It should just be a CC like all others, and once you get it, you can't get it again. You know, it should count towards the CC cap, so you have to choose and pick carefully.
I don't know. These slows in this game are so lazy. Like they literally just turn the animation speed on your character down. And, like that's just the way they're implemented is so. I've never liked slows in this game in any capacity. They're just not fun.
I think all three of our points are accurate. I think slows are that big of a problem. The console community actually freaks out about it. Slow stacking is like all they care about. They like focus on slow stack. I know some guilds do and stuff like that, but like the entire BDO console community is focused on slow stacking.
I don't know what it is, but a 90% slow is literally more frustrating than actually laying down on the ground fully CC'd. Like it just makes you want to fucking uninstall.
Well, I think it's multiple. It's like they're too strong. They stack. They don't count as a CC. There's just if they fixed 2 of those, it would just be so much better, you know.
It lasts for goddamn ever. Like a knockdown is a couple seconds. These slows are literally last for 30 minutes each.
And abilities that use stamina, you get double whammy because you can get the cast speed or attack speed slow, and you get the movement speed slow, and both of them affect stamina abilities. What was it? Zerker Succession. His dashes don't get affected by them. So
Really?
Well, I think he gets affected by the cast speed or attack speed one, but not the movement speed one or something like that. Because
yeah, some things are based off of attack speed and some are cast, but slows have attack, move, and cast speed. Like that's what most slows do.
I don't know. They definitely need some work on them. I'm still blown away that it's not considered a CC because they're more impacting than a CC in a lot of ways because of the length. You know, someone can literally you can hit somebody with a slow and just walk up to them like, "How you doing? I'm just walking here." Catch back up, you know.
I don't even know if this game needs it with how short the time to kill is.
I do feel like it can be a place for like an ice theme class like Nova or something. It just needs to be treated like other CCs. That way, you know, when you have it on ability, you don't also have a float at the same time or something else. You know, when you
it unfairly affects certain classes over others too. Like already slow classes feel it really hard. I know Sorks can't do a goddamn thing when they're slowed, which is fine because that's a one thing we have on them, right? But I also think it's just like unbalanced in how it affects certain classes. It's just it hasn't aged well. I don't think it ever really worked well, and it's aging really poorly too.
Yeah, as we get faster and faster and faster, it feels like the slows feel more impactful. You know, because nowadays we have way more mobility than we'd had before. We have way faster classes and stuff like that. The kill time's faster. All that stuff makes slows feel way more impactful. It's the same thing with more damage makes an iframe feel more impactful than it used to. You know, the same thing.
I think we just should make it how it used to be when Gravedigger had that massive AoE slow and no one else really had something that competed with that. That was good. I like that.
Well, no, I didn't really like grave digging was always like way too overpowered. Like Guardian's Axe Throw, I think is fine. It's a skill shot. You know, it's got that 50% slow. If you land it, it's got a 20-second cooldown. It's only frontal guard. So like you really want to land that when you throw it. The missile speed's really slow. It shouldn't just be like some super armor big AoE that you can throw in the middle of a combo.
It's not a skill shot anymore.
A ton of damage,
I'm sorry. It's not a skill shot anymore. The combat assistance makes it where that thing is easy to hit, I bet. I bet that thing is so easy to hit with combat assistance.
Shut the fuck up.
I was trying to bridge us into a new topic.
So they did the combat assistance for just Olvia and season servers, right?
Wait, what?
No, it's on regular
Is
game.
It on everything?
Yeah, it's a setting in your game settings. You can turn it on or off.
What, they added aim assist?
Well, it's like aim assist, but like 500% stronger. Like literally, you can be 90 degrees to the right of somebody, and it'll turn you 90 degrees, and you'll smack the enemy. Yeah. And then, like, there's examples where people did like 180s to attack people that were behind them.
Oh my god, this is a lot of blue text. I totally missed this. I was out of town.
Right. Yeah. Yep. I think the blue text says that it only works in PvP on seasons.
Yeah, it might be in there. I don't remember. But
They use COVID as an excuse to add this feature to the game. They went all out.
Yep. They say new players are the reason why we have veteran players, and without new players, we won't have veterans and bullshit. But it's
Let me read this. However, given the nature of MMORPG genre, it's quite common to see decreasing number of new adventurers over a period of time, which eventually leads to decrease in the number of veteran adventurers as well. We are fully aware of the importance of new adventurers visiting the world of Black Desert in order to preserve the cycle of excitement and fun in the game. For this purpose, not only have we added the Olvia servers, but recently have also I'm sorry, I misread that. I thought that they were saying they were adding this to that. This is a huge
it's on all servers.
story for them to say that they added it to all the servers. You're right. I misread that.
And I think honestly, it makes a lot of sense. New players do have some trouble hitting their abilities and learning them and stuff like that. And I could see them having this maybe up to level 50 because anybody who PvPs will be over level 50. Or I could see this being on only the basic attack for new players because they generally just use the basic attack when they first get into the game. Overall, though, this seems...
Hold on. No. If you need aim assist to land your basic attacks on steel imps on your first day of the game, I just think that you should find another game.
I agree. I'm trying to feel. I'm personally underneath the impression that they will never remove this. So I think finding middle ground is probably more likely to get a result. But I don't agree with it. I don't think. I mean, they already have aim assist in the game. You can see it by the red reticle, and you can see where your reticle is and how much the aim assist is. I don't think that this is something that was needed in the game. There's way other bigger problems like the skill menu and stuff.
There was a trade-off with the current aim assist, like with desync and the netcode being trash that it is, knowing that when that lights up red, there's aim assist on, you can get around it, and some classes like to use it, some don't. Like trying to hit somebody with WF on which was pretty impossible without aim assist, honestly, because like Z-axis got into it real weird and stuff. Yep. So I liked that there was aim assist for certain classes, and some classes I turn it off. But having this like auto aim feature is not obviously something that should be a part of it. And we constantly talk about why don't they come out with new content for veteran players to make it more engaging for us to stay. And I think this is a triple down on fuck you.
I mean, they have done things for veteran players. If you look at the grind spots they're doing right now, the grind spots right now are tailored in such a way that you cannot have the gear for them when you exit Olvia or the season server, I mean. And so the first thing you do is you get out of season, and there's going to be a ton of these spots you want to go to, and you can't go to them. And so the first thing you want to do is swipe or work hard for getting some gear. And that has benefited the veteran players. But
I appreciate your PvE, glasses on this one, but this is the aim assist thing really is a PvP.
It's a PvP problem for sure. Yeah.
Right. So
what problem does this solve? That's what I'm wondering. Like, so new players aren't able to hit their grabs? Like, how there's not that many skills in this game that are hard to fucking land. They're all giant AoEs. Like, what exactly is the issue here?
There's a vocal minority that's complaining about the game being too hard to use the abilities. I think that's what it is. That's my guess.
Reading Reddit, dude.
I wasn't even aware that this was like a struggle that people had. Everyone knows there's some classes that are really fucking hard to play and some classes that are really fucking easy to play. And if you're a boomer with no mechanics, you just play a boomer class. Like, it's not that hard, right? That's what Suckwiz is for.
Careful. Okay. Suckwiz, yeah, you're right.
What are some examples of boomer classes?
No, it's not!
Let's go down the list. There's also Witch. There's
Striker. Everything
Archer,
Tim's ever played.
Mystic. Any Gauntlets class. Any Staff class. Yeah, and then if you're a fucking gamer with skill, you play something that has a blade or a short sword or a long sword, right? Like, everyone knows this.
Or the 4-button combination of Succession Warrior.
Yeah. Landing a grab on Succession Warrior is like the only satisfying part of the class. Everything else is fucking brain dead. If the grabs are auto aimed now, like bro, I don't know. Like,
Oh man, pre-awaken
I guess
guardian grab is the
see how it
hardest.
feels, but
I think the difference in skill for players here is mainly if you're in a 1v1 scenario, I think you're going to get a pretty sizable advantage, or not advantage, but I mean the skill gap is going to be way less because of this. And I think in large scale, it's going to make things worse because the auto aim might just target the wrong guy. It might target the guy on the right instead of the left or whatever. And we might see some. I think that might not be as big of an
this
issue.
setting, is this on by default?
I think for new players, it's on by default now. It's underneath general. Yeah, general and simplification, and it's called combat assistance.
Oh. Simplification. Okay, so I have activate aiming assistance, but I don't have.
What you have? Oh, you're playing Suck Warrior and aiming assistance.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ, dude, are you even playing this game?
The
if you're
activate
playing
aim
like
assistance is the traditional one that just slightly alters where you're currently looking. That's like where you're targeting. Slightly targets near where you're looking.
Why can't you let me just have this potion shop? Assist with turning and movement when using basic attacks and certain skills.
Like your character will physically turn 90 degrees to the right and smack the enemy.
There's no way that's an enjoyable experience.
Oh wow, yeah. I'm like, bro, I'm doing a 180 right now. I'm looking away from this Fogan. She physically does a fucking 180 degree spin.
Okay, I gotta find a mob.
This is like cheats for BDO, but the developers made them this time.
It's not just basic attacks either. I just did it on my shift right. Let's see. It feels like it depends on if it's a cone or not.
Yeah, I'm attacking 90 degrees to my right. I'm attacking 180 degrees the wrong direction now.
Some skills it doesn't affect at all, and then other skills, like my character literally turns completely.
Whoa!
It seems like if it's an ability that moves your character and costs stamina, then it doesn't work. But if it's
it's not turning my movement skills, but it's turning like my shift right and my shift Q.
I'm doing frost pillars on Maewa, and I'm looking forward, and I'm turning like 110 degrees to hit these elk. Wait, this is OP for gathering.
Wait, is this why turning your abilities on Nova is impossible? Because they designed the class around this new fucking aim assist?
Oh no!
Dude, wait, this class is actually kind of playable now.
Maybe that's what they did. Maybe they designed it with combat assistance on the entire time.
Sweet, yeah, I'm just gonna play my fucking aimbotting Nova from now on. The class is actually good. Dude, I was using mouse movements for like 60% of my skills because they were so rigid. Now she just auto turns. This is amazing.
Oh my god.
It's so bad. I tried it with Grim Reaper's Judgment on Sorceress, the one that's like the big cleave on the ground. So I was iframing around while holding it, and I iframed, looked the wrong direction, fired it off. My character does a 180 and slashes the mobs behind me, and I'm like, good 5-10 feet away.
I'm gonna be the #1 aim assist Node Wars streamer. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, you're making a big deal about your Nova name, so I came up with a really good name for my Nova.
Oh yeah, what you got?
Well, it's not better than mine.
Potion Shop TV.
Hey, that's a 100% win right there.
And I found out that the reason that it was available is the last person who had it got banned for impersonating Potion Shop TV.
Serves them right.
Is that a bannable offense?
Well, they were in world chat and saying that I was offering powering services or something. So, so they.
That's what happened to your last account.
Oh, interesting.
I'm glad they didn't ban the wrong potion shop.
You have no idea, man. You're very lucky.
For the record, if anyone's ever doing anything wrong in this game under my name, it's someone impersonating me.
Yeah, Moreland is above reproach. Never armed T.
Well, Nova's playable now. Congrats, Moro. You just found yourself the most overpowered class in the game.
Yo, change your stream title to number one Nova.
Yo, you think it works with the block? You think she's gonna auto like do 180s to block stuff? So you can just hold your Q and it'll just spin you around?
Let's find out.
Do you have a second webcam where you can like put it at your monitor with it turned off and you winning PvP matches?
Oh my gosh. They wouldn't believe it. There's no way they'd believe it.
I'm going to go auto aim some players now.
Wait, it actually worked?
We're
Let's find out.
we're in a different guild, right? We can fight each other.
You can try, pussy. What's your season gear?
I can't get accessories above duo.
Well, this is my second day playing the season, so you're probably ahead of me.
I'm in Velia with no horse though.
Battle Arena.
We could Battle Arena. Pilioka came back, is coming to PC, so I rented him my second horse. Aftershock's up to almost 10 members, dude. We're at 9 members right now.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
When are you guys doing your first payout? 30?
We have Potion Shop, Tim Allen, Game Nadian, Ghost Rags, and Pilioka. Can we call ourselves the number one streaming guild when we have the number one BDO streamer?
We can when that happens. Hasn't happened yet. They buffed Odalita hunting. Well, that's
Yeah,
not
they did.
sort of. What do you think of it? Have you tried it?
4.3%, 4.3 times more EXP for like grass rhinos and stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's a
And
lot.
they took 30% of the health away on them.
That's nice
So-
also.
I'm just getting into hunting. Like I just hit Master 1 and I'm still farming out Feather Wolves. So I don't have the experience or prowess to be able to like comment on that. But they quadrupled the experience and took a third of the health away. So it can't be bad. But
Maybe it'll
as
be an
far as,
EXP spot for like Guru.
I don't think anyone's going to know until Kerr tests it.
yeah. And the problem was always the meat, right? The actual items that dropped weren't enough. So it's cool that like the experience and stuff makes sense. But what is this Vertex
Doesn't it have
icon?
some boss mechanic or something now?
Yeah, so if you kill a monster, it's a chance that they will respawn with a perfume buff of Spirit Perfume, and then you can kill them again. I don't know if there's more loot the second time. But yeah, basically you kill them, there's a chance that they respawn with what looks to be a Spirit Perfume buff on them, and then you can kill them again. I think the chance of spawning is upon butchering, so you have to butcher them. The first one.
It's anything with meat. Yep, you got to butcher them with meat, and it's only in Dragon or Odalita. Sorry.
Yeah, it's the 4 ones. So there's one boss for each of the animals, and they look the exact same. They don't look different aside from the perfume buff.
If Dragon was deleted from this game outside of the area where you go into Garmoth, how long do you think it would take for the community to find out?
There's a lot of people trying to grind Blood Wolves for their potion piece. They would notice.
I guess.
Pre-potion piece, I think it would have taken 6 months for anyone to figure out.
Some one person would be like, "I'm gonna do 30K," and be like, "Wait, Dragon's gone.
Wait, no, that can't be God. What are you talking about?
Something's wrong with my game."
You can't just delete an entire region.
What a world. Hey, is Dragon missing for anybody else?
What's Dragon?
Oh, it's like the Mandela effect. Like Dragon just disappears. I specifically remember a region called Dragon.
I don't know. I don't remember it.
I think you dreamed that.
I think I remember a place called Dragon.
Bro, there's not a single fucking person on the Arsha channel at Fogan's. The Arsha channel is dead this season. Is everybody just straight to Blood Wolves or what?
Gahaz. They're all at Gahaz.
I don't see. I saw like 2 people at Nagas yesterday. I don't see anyone at Fogan's today. Like,
Yeah, I saw there was a crap load of people at Gahaz. There was like 20 or 30 people, and they were just 5v5 this free for all, this
It
going
doesn't-
crazy.
It's so weird though, because like on the non Arsha channel, Fogans is packed. I have gearlets like taking my mobs every 5 seconds, but none of these people ever even bother to check the PvP channel. It's complete. Every rotation's completely open. There's enough room for like 8 people to be grinding Fogans right now. There's not a single person here.
I didn't. If I was on Seasons, I was on Arsha. There was no way I was going to those PvE servers. There's no way that's not a fuck time, top to bottom.
I can't imagine people doing it. I just like.
If you die on Arsha, you die in real life, right, Moreland?
You would think that people would at least check, like, I wonder if.
I
It's
think most
fucking Saturday afternoon. There's not a single person out here. This is wild. Okay, wait. I think I found someone.
Well, yeah,
I want to know. I want to know about the hunting. If it's good for EXP, there's no way it's good for money. I just don't think it's possible.
It's gonna be weeks before we find out, because Kurz and he found out about Sakraya, and he's just.
All right,
he's stuck there.
So here's what I did. I walked up to a guy,
no!
I grabbed him, and then I pressed Shift left, Shift right, Shift Q, Shift. I just held the Shift key down, and now he's dead. And I'm pretty sure the auto aim helped.
God Gamer.
All right, we know how to play Nova now. Turn on combat assistance and press random abilities.
Oh my god, dude! Make a guide. Make a guide about Nova, and the whole thing is just holding down Shift and having auto aim on, and then just a montage of Arsha.
Okay,
goes.
no lie, this is actually a huge PvP buff to Nova. It actually makes it way easier for you to turn your like Shift Q and your Shift F towards the enemy.
Great.
Does it target PvP over PvE?
That's a good question.
My AoE is so big that all the mobs are dying instantly, so I can't. But this guy's chain pearl resing, and I'm just not like I'm literally not even. I'm not even trying to aim my skills. They're just all heat seeking.
How is this guy so good at Nova?
You see me instantly every time.
That's fucking funny.
So I'm guessing that lawn grab is going to be really fun now.
Oh god.
I can only imagine. I can dash past people and grab them. When I can just dash past them now. Dash through them.
You keep talking about this lawn reroll of yours. When are we going to see the PvP montage?
I really feel like this Nova montage should happen first with the auto aim. I'm really sure Reddit's going to love it. I hear they really like this new system. And then when they see Potion Shop getting kills with it, they're going to eat it up. They're going to know the times have come. It's going to be, I don't know. My plan right now for the my classes is basically play Sork until the Awakening Nova comes out. Play that. If I don't like it, I'll play it for a week, and I'll play Succession for the second week. And then I'm going to buy Pink Crescent. And then after I've played it for 2 weeks, I'm going to reroll to Lawn. And I'll probably stay on Lawn until I'm 64.
Tired of being the underdog, huh?
Yeah, I mean...
Speaking of... Go ahead.
I mean, yeah, part of it is, like, I played Lawn before. I already have her at 62. She's, like, almost halfway to 63 now. So I'm going to finish that up, get her up 64, because I can't. My Sork's done leveling. I don't have anything to do. I'm bored playing her. I see my percent count up like it goes up like 1 tick every like a day, once a day. It's so boring.
When do we get to 1v1 potion?
Oh, when I get my lawn.
Okay, you
We'll
want to
do it
wait for
then.
your lawn?
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually practiced a few combos on my lawn. You grab, deadly dance, and then you usually are dead. So that was pretty easy. If I get in trouble, then it's E-buff and I do infinite iframes for a while. Really reminds me of Sork. And then if it really gets scared, I fly away and wait for the 3-minute buff to come back.
Oh, I was saying, speaking of Red Nose accessories, did you guys panic sell your belts yet?
No, I'm going to tap mine. I've got 200 stacks.
Wouldn't it be wild if you got a pin belt?
Yeah, it would.
Tap Blackstar 80 times.
Well, I was Potion Shop was I was like counting down my failures, and Potion Shop was like, Tim Allen has bad RNG. Only Tim Allen and this other streamer has bad RNG. Tim Allen has terrible RNG. I have one tapped 8 Tet gold accessories in a row, 5 of them being ogre rings. I don't have bad RNG.
So you're
It's
using like
balancing out.
your try Blackstar, or what are you trying to say?
I'm just blowing. I just,
So you have polar opposite. You don't have average RNG. You have really good on some stuff and really terrible on other stuff.
feast or famine.
That-
Well, I'm just getting the bad RNG out of the way on this fucking Black Star, and then I go to tap something worth money, and it's easy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my cup is. I'm emptying my cup on my Black Star.
And those Duo Toval accessories, those are hard.
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
I don't know. I heard you like getting Tets instantly, so I don't know.
Fair. All right.
No, I don't know. It's fun, right? Like for me,
I Guardian, my RNG, and Awakened Valk. Just stay off those topics, man. We'll be fine.
the belt, I think I it's like, is it worth playing seasons now for the Pin Kaposha belt, which is the reward for
I
graduating
don't think you have
seasons?
to play it. I think you just have to make a character at the last second and then like cash in.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that exists and Tet Bassies are 3.5 bill or whatever. If you really want to tap one, just buy one for 3.5 bill.
Yep. I totally agree.
What's funny to me is how much it affected other belts like Tungrad and even Turos. Like, are people actually selling their Turos for a Pen Kaposha? I did not see that coming.
Toro belts, why?
It's not a lot of math.
I know. That's what I was thinking. Like, why would you do that? But people, I guess, like video economy.
I guess they think it's close enough and I'll use the money for something else. Maybe that's the thought pattern. I don't know. It seems strange.
Yeah, but you overpay for Turos to begin with. So
I
like, if you're trying
know.
to save money. It's not. It's very weird.
You guys been playing other games? I don't know. Let's wrap up. Can we wrap up 2020 for other games? Like, let 2020 as like an other games kind of idea. How did you feel about the year for games overall?
One of the best years and that I remember, honestly. I think there's almost nonstop really good shit to play last year. Like, while the world was burning, gamers had plenty of shit to do staying inside.
Yeah, I feel like the single player genre had a lot of stuff going on, and I think that was really good. I personally enjoyed Destiny 2 for 2020, and I think a PoE season. Last Oasis is what I've been playing every Sunday right now. Probably be playing that tomorrow as well for Sunday.
I mean, just Warcraft 3 Reforged alone probably makes 2020 the best year for gamers. Wouldn't you guys agree?
What?
Wait, wasn't that terrible?
Yeah, it was a joke.
No, okay. I was like, wait a second, I didn't play it, so I was trying to remember if that was the good one or the bad one or whatever.
Yeah, no, it was a war crime for sure. But I mean, Final Fantasy VII Remake, fucking Demon Souls.
I completely forgot
what
about Final
else?
Fantasy 7.
Yeah, I know. It feels like it was years ago, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What was the best new game of the year though? That wasn't a remake. Did we just like live in nostalgia?
Final Fantasy VII Remake wasn't actually a remake. Like, it was a bait remake. It was a different game, completely different game from the
It was
original.
a different game, but the story, the lore, and the characters were all there and concurrent.
There,
for the
but
most part.
it's substantially different. I think that game completely shattered my expectations.
It's so different from the original one just by nature of being a 3D game, you know, and a modern graphics that alone would be enough to make it worth playing.
Well, apparently it's a J.J. Abrams version of Star Trek, right? Where it's like in an alternate universe or whatever
Yeah,
of the original
something.
7.
Did you
Without
not
too
play
much
it, Ted?
spoilers. No, I want to wait for the other parts to come out. I don't want to do it.
Oh,
It's 5 years. I'm going to
dude.
wait 5 years to do the whole thing.
Dude.
I know. I was friends with Joe then. He was fucking freaking out.
Wow. I think for me, the main thing that excited me about 2020 is it's the first year I felt hopeful for the MMO genre. We've had so many good announcements, not actual games in MMOs, but like announcements. Riot Games has officially announced they're hiring people for the MMO, so that's like 7 years away. That's great news. World of Warcraft had Shadowlands, and they listened to the community for it. Wasn't the best launch, wasn't the worst, but I think they took strides in the right direction for World of Warcraft. We also had ArcAge 2 get announced by Kakao Games, being the publisher for that, as super early development. We have Elyon and we have Lost Ark. So Elyon's going to be published in 2021, as well as Lost Ark. Lost Ark's being published by Amazon Games. So we'll have to see what that looks like. That'll be their first one published from another developer. So I don't know. There's a lot of good things in the MMO genre right now that's giving me some hope. Ashes is obviously a hot topic and will be until it comes out. So I don't know. It's the first time we've heard like promising MMOs that maybe they're not. Oh, and New World too. I almost forgot about New World. This is a lot of things right now that I think are good for the MMO genre, and maybe not like games that will last us years, but it'll be something that we can actually sink our teeth into, enjoy, and have a good time for a month or two.
I think it might be the opposite. I think that New World is going to fail so hard that it's going to actually prevent future investors from investing in the MMO genre, and we might literally never see a new MMO again, except for indie games.
I don't think it's going to be that dramatic, but I think we're starting to see the beginning of the end of the MMO. Now that we're seeing a lot of the monetization of MMOs, pay to win. We've got this one guy who's literally a pyramid scam artist that's trying to blow smoke up all of our skirts about an MMO. There's RNG boxes and there's pay to win, and there's all this stuff. And, ArcAge 2 coming out from Kakao Games, all of that screams massive, massive pay to win. So I think we're just seeing this shift into a way that's going to kill, the our age group's idea of MMOs, and it's going to move into.
I think we're all just going to start playing more Fall Guys, right? Did that come out this year?
Yeah, I think so.
Fall Guys. Among Us didn't technically come out this year, but it became popular this year. Dude, this year was
a roller coaster.
People in my shadow listing games, Hades, Ghost of Tsushima, Doom Eternal. Those were all fucking crazy good games. Like,
yeah, Doom Eternal.
Some all-time greats. I can't believe all that happened in the last 12 months. Really, in the last 8 months.
It's the year of the indie games, or I guess it's not all of just indies either. It's just surprise games, that's like games that came out of left field that we weren't expecting.
Well, I think Doom Eternal is probably the best AAA,
True.
New game that came out. I played it I had to turn the difficulty down because I
think Ghost of Tsushima was way better than Doom. I mean, you can't compare them, but I got so many hours out of Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, I don't like Souls types games, so that's fair.
Do you think that's a AAA game? I would consider that almost like an indie title that was just extremely well made with a bigger budget.
Ghost of Tsushima?
Yeah.
That's an indie game. That's the most polished fucking indie game I've ever seen in my life. It certainly felt AAA when I was playing it.
Yeah, I don't know.
That game's more that game has a better open world than Cyberpunk, and it runs 100 times more smoothly.
I definitely agree that it feels like a AAA game, but I don't know if it was.
I think Cyberpunk's an obvious thing to talk about in 2020. I don't think there's too much more to say about it besides it was.
Bro, we're gonna be talking about that until the end of 2021.
Cyberpunk could have been game of the year for 2021 if that's when it did come out. Woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Yeah.
I think they're getting sued by their investors for misleading statements. I'm so fucking excited to see how that plays out.
I think with the popularity of streaming being what it is and how that's growing, especially through COVID, and the amount of just sheer money that's been in video games for the past 5 years or so, that it's going to be harder and harder to see these better games. And crowdsourced stuff is it used to seem to be like the way out from, just the Call of Duty every year or whatever. And then it turned into a scam. So I think we get a couple good games a year, instead of 1997, where everything rocked your socks, or 2004, which was one of the best video game years of all time. You know, we had some huge winners this year, but as far as like the three of us being MMO streamers, I'm not excited for the future of MMOs. I'm trying to figure out where I go next. I don't think I'm going to be able to afford to play MMOs.
I am excited for the next few MMOs. However, I am worried about the streaming side of things. I don't think that I can make a career streaming like New World or like all these other games that I'm going to be playing for 2 months and then moving on. Like, I don't know if hopping to a new MMO every couple months is something that I can actually build a channel on, but I don't know, maybe one of these new games will be good enough to stick around on. Elyon, this seems like it has promise, you know. I mean, Cash Shop can't be worse than this game, right?
To be fair, very, very few streamers make a living off of BDO as it is. What, there's 5 or 6 of you total?
Yeah, I mean, for my long-term thing for streaming is BDO. I mean, I know they want to keep it around for a while, and they'll have a replacement for it if it ever dies. So that's my long-term vision for now. And then I see our games like Elyon and New World and Lost Ark as games that I'll probably go and play for a month to a few months, depending on how good they are, and then probably come back to BDO when BDO has content. And I think BDO will be my home for the foreseeable future. But yeah, I don't know. I think there are games like, I don't think New World is a good enough game to be a game that I play for years. And I don't see Elyon being that either. And I don't see Lost Ark being that. I think all those games are good games to play day 1, month 2, maybe even. But they're like the MMO genre without the long-lasting playstyle. And I want the long-lasting playstyle, but I don't think those are what those are going to be. But I don't think they're going to be bad games either.
Cron Stones is really starting to bother me in BDO. It's really getting to me. I'm really starting to understand.
Just now?
yeah, just now. With the Fallen God and stuff. It's like there's only going to be more Fallen God.
I really thought Fallen God was going to lower time to kill a bit. Like, I thought it was going to start to hit that threshold. Have you guys felt that at all, or did none of us do enough large scale to really?
In the super high end stuff, like the big honcho guilds, it's starting to become a little noticeable. I was watching a couple different people PvP, obviously not myself. that one I haven't, but I was watching a couple people, do some open world GVGs at Ash Forest and stuff, and they're getting to a point where they're tanky. The problem is now that they're tanky is they heal up so fast with heals and potions and stuff that even if you have to do a 2 combo, they just heal back up to full HP. So some people end up getting to the point where they're almost immortal, even though they're not in a tank build.
The more people you add into the mix, from going from non-Fallen God to Fallen God, the more people you add into the mix, the obviously less it matters. But like the 1v1s, every once in a while, if somebody's got 310 AP Kudum, then I'm fucked. But it did extend the time to kill a little bit, jumping 10 Kaffir's levels in, one day. But, you get to that 370, 380 DP arena, and it's going to help for sure, especially if you're on a tankier class. But large scale, the Frigid Fog and Voltaic Pulse combo, and a Meteor to start that off, you're dead. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you have multiples. So I don't know. I'm focusing on like some questing and life scaling and hunting and kind of some of the minutia of this game, some of the stuff that gets forgotten about sometimes, I think. And I'm enjoying that, kind of getting out of the rat race, seeing what happens with, PvP and node wars and all that stuff. And I don't know, just kind of chilling, trying not to get too involved in all the comings and goings and stuff, and whatever other platitudes I can put out there about just biding my time and seeing where this goes. So
yeah,
that's where I'm at. New World is going to be wild fun because it is going to be a short-term thing. I'm going to skirt that line of getting banned every single day while running, a top-end PvP guild. I'm so much more excited about. Everyone always asks me, "You're bringing Aftershock back?" It's like, yeah, New World, having that character of Tim Allen Aftershock doesn't really work in BDO. It's not that much fun anymore. when people get pissed off, they like send groceries to your parents and, fuck with you IRL. A New World, it's some Amazon PMA game. It's gonna be great.
I just went from having the number 4 bartering icon to the number 5 bartering icon on this Archer channel, and I'm pretty pissed about it.
If you did the hunting quest when you were at Catfishman Camp, where you kill the jellyfish, then you have a hunting icon when you are in Ursha for like the first week or so, easy.
I hear Odalita fishing is very good for trade EXP. Have you guys tried that? You fish in Odalita and then run over to Old Wisdom Tree, trade them in?
Probably. The fishing in Dragon was really good for trade XP.
Yeah, apparently it's like absolutely insane. I want to test it out.
I'm Master 9 and I'm happy with that. Been Master 9 since.
Was there a resolution to the trade exploits? I know they turned the coupons off, but did they issue any punishment or make any statement whatsoever?
From our lame duck publisher?
I don't think that's their call. The developer has to approve.
Yeah, I mean they're waiting on Pearl Abyss still, right?
And Pearl Abyss is like,
it is the holidays, but
I was thinking that Pearl Abyss, if I was 5-head Pearl Abyss, I would talk to Cacao and be like, hey, we're going to make some cash, all right? We're going to make some cash right now. You guys are going to play bad cop, all right? And we're going to add more pay to win into BDO every week until you guys are no longer in charge. And then we're going to take over and we'll say, we understand that you don't like pay to win and we're moving it all and it'll go free to play. And then just blame it all on Cacao. And then they make bukus and bukus of cash for like the last couple of months the game's out because everybody thinks it's getting removed. I don't know. And then basically a lot of people can come back to the game because it's a new publisher and everybody's like, oh wow, new publisher. I can't believe that it was Cacao the entire time.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
No.
This class, by the way, was literally designed with aim assist on. It plays completely different. Like, there's no chance that they tested this class at all with that shit turned off. They clearly worked on that feature in tandem with Nova, and like whatever internal environment that they play the new classes on has that shit checked by default. Because it's like, I'm astounded at how different this plays.
So all of our classes in the future are going to be shit unless we play with combat assistance on.
Well, because before, like, you know how when you're chaining your skills with Nova, you're always like facing the same direction and it's really hard to turn, like especially in PvP if someone's dancing around you a lot.
Mm-hmm.
This shit just automatically aims it for you, even if you're holding the inputs down and overlapping your skills. It just auto aims, dude. It just turns. Cool. It's like having mouse movements without having to do mouse movements.
Bro, is the Awakening gonna be like this? My experience, my PvE experience.
Your PvE experience? You got like trees dancing around you a lot?
It's the only thing that's left for me to do in this game. I feel
like, dude, this game has like the solutions that these devs come up with to problems that don't exist. It's like beyond satire. Like, I can't even make exaggerated jokes about things that they're going to do because the thing they actually do is going to be more ridiculous.
I actually ban people in my chat for making up jokes about classes they should buff because they will actually listen to it and do it. I actually started banning people who like ask for like wizard buffs and like bullshit like that because like they actually listen to it and then they do it. It's yeah.
I guess I'll have to not talk about Guardian in your chat, huh?
You got immunity.
I have immunity? Wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean within limit, I guess, but
is that what 15 months of subbing to you gets?
No. It's for being my friend.
Oh, gross! Don't say that out loud again.
Friend.
No, it's like we have sex, but I'm not gonna go to a movie with you, kind of thing.
I want to go to a movie with anyone right now with COVID, bro. Are movie theaters even open? I haven't even checked. Are they even open?
In Texas, they're open. In California, it's a capital felony.
That'll be 3 years in jail. Like, oh, what?
Yeah,
I don't know about.
They actually just have a gas chamber set up in the movie theater, and they just execute you on the spot.
Yo.
Okay. I don't know about about movie theaters, but bowling alleys in Florida are fucking popping.
Oh, because wait, so movie theater's bad, but bowling good?
I don't know. I haven't driven by a movie theater in a minute, but there's a lot of bowling alleys down here, and they're all really busy.
Have you guys been to Top Golf? I bet that place is popping right now. Outside, good food.
Oh my god, dude! I would love to go to Top Golf with you.
Oh, I would hit that ball and it go like 10 feet in front and hit some guy on the balcony below us.
Oh, you can't golf? That sucks.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably teach me something. It's not the strength factor; it's just the technique. It's just
I can mini golf.
there's too many things to remember with golf. It's like
Place your feet correctly and squat your knees a little bit. Make sure your butt's firm. And I don't
Did
know
you
what
just
the
flex that you're strong enough to go golfing?
Is that?
I didn't know that was a flex.
Don't you just call it regular golf, Marlon?
What, mini golf?
That's all right. Let's see if there's anything else here to blow through, so we can cover the topics and roll it up.
I gained 13 pounds this year. Tim, are you proud of me?
Wait, that's actually a lot.
From getting taller?
Out of the month.
That was your last year's New Year's resolution. Is you wanted to get stronger, wasn't it?
I don't know if it was a New Year's resolution, but it was something I tried to do.
I gained 13 pounds too.
It started
Yeah,
more
me too.
pretty much started at the start of the pandemic, so it wasn't really a New Year's thing.
It's actually really impressive though, because the gyms are like closed down and stuff. So like you had to go out of your way to like make that work.
Yeah, not mine. I'm in an underground black market gym, son. Don't tell the California government. Seriously though.
Oh, I believe you 100%. I mean, if you can't get what you want, then people just make it happen anyway. I mean, that's how the illegals get in, right?
I'm in a much better spot. I'm in a much better spot personally than I was at the beginning of the year. Things are looking and moving forward, so I'm hoping to maintain that.
Did he really just say the illegals?
Yeah, he did.
Oh my god. We
Wait.
never know what's gonna come out of your mouth, dude.
Well, what do you guys call them? The people who get into the country illegally?
Not the
Immigrants? I don't think that's a correct term.
Immigrants is nice. That's a better term than the illegals.
Quebecians.
The untouchables.
You're making it sound way worse. I have no malice intent on that. I don't know how else to describe them.
Orientals.
Is that actually bad? I don't know. Is that actually something people don't say now?
Don't call them the illegals, bro.
I don't say the Orientals.
Yeah, not publicly.
What are you talking about? It's the Asian themed area up by Port Rat.
The rest of us are streaming, for the record.
I don't think I said anything that was bad. I wasn't trying to hurt anybody's feelings.
When does this new Twitch TOS go in? I think we're fucked, dude.
Oh man, we're gonna get like the streamer band's Twitter is just gonna like bop bop Moreland TV Tim Allen like straight away. It's gonna be a double kill. Thanks, Potion.
I don't know. I think the nuance matters and the intent matters. I don't know what else. I don't know what else I could say. I don't know what if you say something else, you just offend them anyway.
Them?
Who's them? The illegals?
I feel like clarification at this point is just going to dig a deeper hole with you guys mentally.
Yeah, just us.
What? Like, I don't know. I used to work at a restaurant and we had like 3 illegal Mexicans that worked at the place and cooked for us.
Holy shit, man. Come on.
What's the name of the restaurant?
Well, they would always ask when the cops came in if they were there for food. But no, they were good people. Like, I've worked with them before.
I built a school in Guatemala.
Did it actually happen, or are you memeing? I feel like you're memeing.
No, I spent a month in Guatemala.
It's actually pretty cool.
Chichi Castanango. I got altitude sickness for 2 of the 4 weeks.
Ooh, yeah. I got the one I went to, I think, Breckenridge. That was bad.
That's very posh of you. I got altitude sickness at Breckenridge.
What? People go there to ski.
It's like one of the most expensive skiing places in America.
It was like $50 or something. It wasn't that bad to go for a day.
He like drove to Breckenridge, skied, and drove home.
We drove there, and I think we spent the night with like a family friend, and then we drove back after like a
It's
day or
like one
two.
of the most affluent areas in the country, dude. It's like San Diego, Miami, or San Francisco, Miami, Manhattan.
I'm betting that San Francisco isn't so nice anymore.
Yeah, it's not exactly affluent. It's just expensive now. It's just expensive and shitty.
Okay, well, if you decide to spend your $10,000 a month that you make on your fucking 2-bedroom apartment, you're still fucking rich. You're just dumb.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
$10K a month to step in human feces on your front door.
Right.
Ugh.
San Francisco's wild, by the way.
I've never actually been there. I think I landed in an airplane once. I smelled the fog before we landed.
San Jose has got to be worse than San Francisco, though. That town's awful. I can't believe they held a convention there.
Where are the servers at for BDO? Is that
San Jose.
Yeah, it is San Jose. Yeah, I think that's right.
They're not even happy about it.
No, definitely not.
All right, I think that'll do it for the illustrious and affluent episode 30 of Nerds in Words. Moreland TV and Potion Shop, thank you so much. I missed you guys. I'm happy to hear you both are doing well and had good holidays. If you guys got something going on, like I know Potion Shop does on his channel, let's go ahead and do a little self-plugging before we call the end of it. What do you got going on this week? Maybe starting Monday, Potion.
So this week, Monday, I'm doing what I call an infinite stream. And so basically people it's a way for me to generate support for the stream. It helps me earn money for upgrading the PC and also getting more music made for people to listen to. And so we'll be doing that. $5 tip will add 30 minutes to the stream, and a sub will add 20 minutes. And you can make me go as long as you want, up to 1,000 hours, which is a little over 2 months. So I don't know, it's fun. Sometimes they're like a day. Sometime I think the longest one was like a week or something like that. So this is a fun activity to do with the stream, and we'll be starting that Monday. I'm kind of hoping it goes at least through Wednesday. That way we can play Nova Awakening. But yeah, that's why I have basically going on. I'm taking tomorrow off to kind of relax and enjoy this life.
So are you going to turn your camera on to sleep and stuff?
Yep, camera will be on for sleeping. Then for grinding, we'll have it off.
I think that's so funny that your camera's off when you play and on when you sleep.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what else to put on the screen, right? Like,
I probably watched 25 hours of you sleeping.
wait.
Have you ever like gone in and checked to see if there's people who won't watch you play BDO but do tune in when you sleep?
There's definitely people who watched when I sleep, because it was. I couldn't believe it. I woke up one day and had like 600 viewers watching me. Like, where did you guys come from? Like, is this more than I had when I went to bed? How's that possible? I was like, I don't know. So
Gamnadian and I actually talk about you sleeping. Like, we'll have a conversation about what we saw while you were sleeping.
What, did I pick my nose or anything?
Yeah, or like the words you tried to mouth, like Orientals.
Whoa!
People love sleeping streams. I
Tim, come on! People are streaming here.
The last time I slept in a bed with another human being, I hit them as hard as I could. Like, I just woke up from like having a nightmare that I was being attacked, and I just fucking karate chopped them.
God, there's such an obvious joke here that I have to pass on.
I'm gonna remember that. So next Twitch we go to, it'll be safe.
That's right. I have been diagnosed with narcolepsy. All right, that was episode 30. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next week at Potion and Moreland got to figure out when they actually want to do this goddamn podcast. But
they said when I joined this guild for next.
In the fucking episode, then we'll talk about it, Moreland.
Okay.
Thanks for watching. See you next week. Stay tuned to somebody to find out when.